very important, and you don't just answer in a lackadaisical manner. You know, everything about your customer service is your your body language,
exactly.
your body language, your conduct, your tone, the way you communicate. Yes, your voice. You know, the way you've come across. And have you come to say hello? How are you? Can I help you? Because sometimes you can be somewhere and you can glaringly see that the person is looking for something or needs assistance, even if it's not your area, it's not your department. It still means that if that's your organization, be polite enough to ask that person, how can I help you? And that is enough to at least set the right tone, and then you can pass them on to the right person. But yes, we don't see enough of that in the businesses in Nigeria today, and it's because a lot of people have taken it for granted. A lot of people think, well, I'm here to sell this thing. If I sell 10 today, I'm okay. I don't really need to emphasize on customer service. But guess what? You're in business for a long time, not just for tomorrow, and therefore you want your customers to keep on coming back and to keep on recommending you to other people. So customer service is important, and no, we're not seeing enough of it. I wish we could see enough of it. We need to be educated a bit more.
Exactly. So we know that, I know that you are a corporate image consultant and you do a whole lot with it. How can a deficit in customer centricity affect a business as a whole?
Oh, wow. It's still back to the reputation that I was talking about. Image is everything. And a picture speaks, you know, a 1,000 words. Yes. But, you know, when there's no customer centricity, you're killing your organization immediately. I said initially that this competition is real. So you're not the only one that is in this business. There are a whole lot of people. But why do I want to come to you? Why am I geared towards you? Maybe in the past you have done something, or maybe you're the first person that I walked into that place to say, I like this, and I liked what I saw, and I'm coming back. But you can imagine if you're the first person that I'm approaching about this particular service or product that I'm looking for, and you frowned at me, and you didn't smile, and you didn't attend to me at all.
You were insolent, possibly.
The first thing I'm going to say is not about you. I'm going to talk about the company. I'm going to say, oh my gosh, no. The reputation is bad, and that's the image that you're killing already. And lots of businesses are suffering from this just because of that little 1 minute of soft skill. Hello, good afternoon. How can I help you? That kind of thing. And the image is dented, and sometimes, you know, they say first impressions go a long way.
Exactly.
And it takes seconds to make that first impression. So if I walk into your organization and I don't see anything related to any kind of element of politeness, and I walk out, it's going to take me a long while for me to regain trust in you. Chances are I'm not coming back. I'm actually going to go to another organization. So definitely the image is killed, and you know, there's a saying from Warren Buffett that says it can take you 20 years to build a reputation, to build your business, and it can take you 2 minutes to kill it.
All right, then we know that we've seen lots of people going into customer service, customer care training, but then it's not necessarily really translating to the way they relate with customers when they see them. Some people will tell you, oh, I'm not in the mood. I can't smile if I'm not in the mood.
Well, you're right. And there are tons and tons of trainings out there. What is that training geared towards? What is the objective of the training? I really believe when it comes to customer service, it's a practical, interactive training. It's not about theory. It's not about this is this and this is that and everything is writing. It needs practicality. It needs case studies. It needs real-life examples. You need to be put in a position whereby if a customer comes into your organization and is extremely angry, and this is a scenario, what would you do? It needs role play. You need to act it out. You need to be able to be in a position where been there, done that, seen it, all right? And that's the only way it can be embedded. And it's not a one-day thing, by the way. When it comes to customer service, it should be consistent. It should be something that you reiterate and, you know, you reinforce. Customer service training is reinforcement, all right? And it's not that they've done the training and they should be able to do it. No, it needs to be, you know, consistently, you know, things need to be in their face all the time. And sometimes you can do a face one-on-one classroom training and support it with videos, support it with more case studies, support it with write-ups, you know, support it with things that you know that these are things happening every day.
Yes.
Hey, this is our business. This is the same business that we're in. Look at what happens in this company on the basis of this. A bit of research needs to be done as well. But yes, again, you're right. Some people do the training and they just can't be bothered. And that's where really etiquette comes in. It's an attitude thing.
Exactly.
Attitude is a killer. And you know, with etiquette, it's about appearance, behavior, and conduct and communication.
Yes.
So when the attitude is wrong, the company has to look inwards. What is making the attitude of our staff bad? What is that? What is it about the morale that is being killed? Is it the environment? Is it what we are offering them? Is it something that there's a bit of conflict? Are they having workplace, you know, conflict? Are they having some issues with each other? Are they having challenges? You have to dig right into it, because when it comes to customer service, as an employee, you also have to be happy. You also have to know about the product that you're selling. You have to have some detailed knowledge about it. And sure, can you buy it before you start thinking about selling it to someone else? All right, and that's it. Some people don't believe in what they're selling or the product that they have. Some people don't believe in it. So it's really about aligning your employees' goals with the goals of the organization to move forward.
We'll take a quick break now. When we return, we'll talk about etiquette. Do stay with us. Thank you.
Oh.
All right, thank you very much for staying with us. You're still watching Ladies Talking Business on Plus TV Africa. Ma'am, let's talk about etiquette for a bit. Now, I know that while I was still in university, I remember one thing my chancellor used to say. He said your skill would take you to a certain position, but your character would keep you there. Putting this in line with etiquette, how well do you think we're embracing this culture in Nigeria, in our society?
That's a good thing, a good question, because incidentally, when I started my business, I started in Nairobi, Kenya, for a number of years, and they were very open to something like this because they felt it would boost them, take them to the next level, and enhance their leadership skills. When I was crossing over to Nigeria, we had two schools of thought. We had the young ones that thought they do not have time for etiquette because they don't understand it, all right? And then we had the older ones that says, yes, 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 we need to inculcate it in our youths, that it's something that is really missing. So it's like that. And so when I started here, I realized that, look, the word etiquette, actually, I play down on it in business. I call it protocol, because I think people look at it as a bourgeoisie word. People think that it is only for the rich and the famous. People think that it's got nothing to do with them and it's for a certain category of people. And people also think it's like trying to make them be what they are not. No, 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 no. It is not. It is really about those skills, profitable, beneficial, purposeful, all right, skills that are used, interpersonal skills that are used to take you to the next level. There are skills that will help you get a job, stay in a job, thrive in a job. There are skills that will help you escalate to the next level. There are skills that will help you maneuver around situations that seem to be challenging.
And this seems to be one thing that people don't really understand.
No, they don't understand the importance of ensuring that there are certain soft skills you need to be a leader. Now, it is true, you don't readily see it in the university, you're not readily taught, but certain circumstances will position you in a place whereby, hey, I wish I had better knowledge about this, I would have handled it better, all right? And it's about, again, ABC, your whole appearance and your attitude, your behavior, and your conduct and communication. All those three package you and increase your image. And etiquette really is about, so I'll start with manners. Manners is the right thing to do at the right time. I see you in the morning, I should say good morning. That's manners. I see you in the afternoon, I should say good afternoon. Or in the evening, you know, I should greet you because I'm just seeing you for the first time that day. Etiquette really is how do I greet?
How you do it.
How do I greet? And sometimes, well, many times actually, it's influenced by culture and religion. So if I'm in Asia, there's a way I will greet you. If I'm in Africa, there is a way I will greet you. And if I'm in any other part of the world, there is a way I will greet you. So it's based on the geographical location, the culture, and the religion as well. Protocol is when. So manners, etiquette, and protocol go together. So should I greet you now, or should I greet you 5 hours later? The protocol means I ought to greet you now as I'm seeing you. As we sit at the table and we want to eat, the protocol is take your napkin, place it on your lap, all right? Pick up your cutlery and start eating. All right, so that's the protocol. The etiquette is, how do I start eating? Do I eat with my knife and fork? Do I eat with chopsticks? Or do I eat with my hand? And of course, the manners is making sure you eat with your people around you in mind. So don't eat with too many. Don't talk when your mouth is full. All right. So don't lean across the table while you're eating. When you have knife and fork in your hands, don't be wielding it as you're talking or you're gesturing. It's dangerous. All right. So, but you're right again. I wish we could see more. The society, and it's not just locally. Actually, it is global. Unfortunately, globally, there's a lot of rudeness. There's a lot of very bad etiquette. There's a lot of very bad conduct. And when it comes to business, an organization will hire you for your technical skills, but they will fire you for your behavioral skills.
Exactly.
So poor behavior, you will be fired. Good technical skills are good. But you see, that is why it's very important that you must remember that today, soft skills are the new hard skills. People are not hiring because you had a first class. People are hiring because we want to know, do you actually have leadership potential? Do you work well with other people? Do you have the ability to lead a team, to work with a team? Because it's not just me, myself, and I, you see. And therefore, etiquette means being polite to people, being considerate, being kind, being able to do things together. It's not just about you. And therefore, we try to emphasize it in terms of when it comes to leadership, you must have empathy. You must be able to understand. You know, emotional intelligence is key to any leadership.
Exactly. I was going to come to that. What's the what's that connection between, etiquette and emotional intelligence?
Absolutely. A good leader should always have elements of emotional intelligence. You are leading people, so you should be able to be sensitive to how you come across to them and how they come across to you. When you say something, how does it be thoughtful about how did that land on them? Was I a bit too harsh, or did I really take consideration about my words? Then you walk in, you see one of your staff who's just had a baby, and you know that she's got a young child, and you're thinking, oh my gosh, you know what? I think it's time. I think you, because of your baby, let me consider, for you to be productive and not think about your baby all day long, I need to make things more conducive for you. So I think you should come in at a certain time and leave at a certain time. And that time you're there, you're most productive. But if I keep you in the office till 6, 7, 8 p.m. and I know you had a newborn baby, you're not going to be productive at all. And that means I, as a leader, must be sensitive to my circumstances and to the people that I'm leading. And it's very important. It's about self-awareness. It's about self-discipline. It's about empathy. It's about so many things that make you lead. As a leader, you cannot claim to know everything. You should be in a position where you're also learning from the people that work with you. And that makes an all-rounder. And it means, therefore, as a leader, you must have some etiquette. You must be able to be polite, because you are actually the epitome of somebody's looking at you. You are coaching or mentoring from a distance without even knowing it. People are watching the way you do things. Are you a good leader? Do you show good traits, good leadership traits? And that's where the whole full package comes in. If you are a leader who is very rude to your subordinates, shouts all the time, extremely inconsiderate, could not care less about, I don't care, finish it at 10 p.m., that's your business, then you are definitely going to have real problems with your leadership style. Poor productivity, and the bottom line will be affected completely. And people will begin to leave, high turnover, just because the boss, we don't get on with the boss. So a lot of things are connected, and it's almost I wouldn't call it customer service from the external point, but it's internal customer service. Am I polite to the people that I work with?
Because it's going to translate to the customers themselves.
Absolutely.
All right, finally, because of time. Do you need to go to a school to learn all of these things, or you can pick it up from the environment?
You mean etiquette itself?
Yes.
Behavior, conducts, interpersonal skills. To be honest with you, you don't necessarily need to go to school, because, as they say, when it comes to manners, manners is everywhere. Manners is free. Manners is priceless. The problem is you can lose millions without manners. And, and again, with manners and etiquette, it can actually open doors for you more than any technical education that you have had. But you can pick it up as you go along. But it's nice to be in a position where you can get elements of training on it because it gives you a foot forward, all right? It's not to say where the ethical schools, I need to go there. Sometimes
schools. I know I went to a finishing school though.
Yes, which I think is fantastic because I run a finishing school myself. But you see, at this point in time, if you get the opportunity to go, don't say, I don't want to go, or I have to go because my office says I have to go. Every learning experience is important. Knowledge is power. Whenever you find yourself in a position where you're learning something new, grab it. You might not need that knowledge now, you might need it later. But yes, it's good to go to a place where you can learn some of these soft skills because it's an added advantage. It's your panache advantage, I call it. But then again, always be observant. You know, use people that are mentors to you, that are coaches to you, that, you know, you really like the way they are. Watch the way they do things. Watch the way they conduct themselves, how they communicate, how they behave, their appearance and their attitude, and you will learn a whole lot more.
Right,
Definitely.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining me. And that's all on Ladies Talking Business today. I do hope you really learned a lot because I did. Until next time, I still remain your host, Irene Ubani. Bye.
What we do not understand, we will stigmatize.
What you can see is the remaining of the tanker that exploded.
The suspect equally confessed.
A 500 naira they collect them.
If you no talk, then go beat you.
Now 2,500 they pay.
Politics has helped shape the decision of the polity, from conspiracy theories to good old-fashioned comic politics.
These are the results of tomorrow's election. Okay, you have it already, have you?
I think we've done very well in the very difficult circumstances in which we took over governance.
Plus, politics will fill the polls of the country, from friends to frenemies, even strange bedfellows, to clones and stooges. We go beyond the rhetorics and the drama to analyze the story behind the story.
Let anybody come and say.
The perception in itself does more harm than actual corruption that you have.
Plus, politics, not just another political show. It's about putting you, the citizens, in the know.
Hey, what's up, guys? You're welcome to another edition of Plus Event, and I remain your host, Ifeoluwa Oshukeye.
Your absence isn't an excuse anymore, as Plus Events is all you need, as we bring you the glitz, the glamour, and loads of fun.
Oh, definitely. Right, no question. He's a living legend.
Oh, God forbid, Holy Ghost fire, I know.
I just want to be blown away. I want to be wild.
This is 11 years of doing it.
I'm surrounded by so much positivity.
No, it's okay.
Yo, what's up, my people? It's your boy Starboy Terry. You're watching
Plus Event
on Plus TV. Stay glued to Plus TV Africa every Saturday and Sunday, 4:30 p.m. West African time.
This medal has been directed to empower 1,000 persons with disabilities in each state in the next 12 months.
When I start hearing the shoot of gun,
Whatever I've done.
Every public policy has winners and losers, and some will not be very happy with you, while others, usually the silent majority, will be quite happy.
Hello and many thanks for joining us. The News in the Hour on Plus TV Africa. Here are some of the stories making the headlines. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, on Thursday assured Saturday's governorship election will take place in Bayelsa State as scheduled. The commission said it would obey all legitimate court orders served on it in respect of the poll. The Federal High Court in Yenagoa on Thursday nullified the All Progressive Congress APC primaries that produced David Leon as the party's candidate. The judgment was on a case filed by one of the APC governorship aspirants, Senator Henneke Lopobiri. INEC's National Commissioner and Chairman of its Information and Voter Education Committee, Festus Okoye, confirmed that the commission had deployed all it needed for the elections, adding that the polls would go on as planned. He said the election will go ahead with its plans for the election using the materials already prepared before the judgment was given. President Muhammadu Buhari has called for fairness and transparency ahead of Saturday's governorship polls in Kogi and Bayelsa State. This is according to a State House statement. In Kogi, a repeat election will also be held in Kogi West Senatorial District. On Saturday, November 16, voters in two states, Bayelsa and Kogi, will be left alone to decide who takes charge of the administration of their important states for the next 4 years. President Buhari made a strong demand for exemplary conduct of non-partisanship on the part of election and law enforcement officials in the two states. The statement signed by presidential media aide Garba Shehu states all must carry out their functions with fairness and transparency. Buhari, however, called on voters in Bayelsa and Kogi states to exercise their franchise in a peaceful and orderly manner and in line with the law in all situations. Still on the election, former President Goodluck Jonathan describes the signals from Bayelsa and Kogi states as worrisome, hence re-emphasized that only electronic voting process could stop thuggery, violence during elections in Nigeria. Jonathan expressed sadness that people were already being killed when election had not begun, adding that the only way out was electronic voting. He spoke in Port Harcourt on Thursday during the presentation of a book authored by former Deputy Governor of Rivers State, Sir Gabriel Toby, titled In the Course of Service, Memoir of Gabriel George Toby. The former president stressed that the people would be able to elect those they believed in should the country begin to vote electronically. He expressed optimism that electronic voting would work in Nigeria, owing to the fact that several Nigerians transferred billions of dollars from one bank to the other through electronic means. Jonathan further noted that political officers in the country did not change their holders. Rather, the people with low integrity will be voted into office. He added that when the country developed to a point where voter card mattered, politicians would mend their ways. Chairman of the All Progressive Congress Campaign Council for the Kogi State governorship election, Nasir El-Rufai, on Thursday appealed to the people of Kogi State to forgive Governor Yahaya Bello. Rufai said Bello is bound to make mistakes as a young man, but had learned from his mistakes and deserved forgiveness from the Kogi electorate. The Kaduna State governor was speaking at the grand finale of the APC campaign rally ahead of Saturday's governorship election and Kogi West senatorial rerun. El-Rufai reiterated that Yahaya Bello loves Kogi and has given the young ones better opportunity. He warned against repeating the mistakes of the past, not to allow the memory of a great leader, the late Prince Abubakar Audu, to be in vain. Now, Pro-Transparency Group Accountability Lab has tasked public servants to display the highest form of integrity and transparency necessary to curb corruption. This was at the Meet the Icons event in Abuja, which commended public servants with a proven track record of honesty and integrity. The event, which was in collaboration with the Embassy of Sweden in Nigeria, aimed at demonstrating the importance of honesty and personal responsibility. It also hopes to inspire a new generation of public servants who are more effective and corruption-free in an effort to amplify the voices of honest government officials.
We need people to stand up to take action. We just need people to stand up to do the right thing. A person of integrity working for government, we have heard Bukola, who is one of them, and she said it's not easy. Not easy being like, we know the society we're in. For you to stand out with integrity, it takes a lot. You need to be brave.
We are glad to say that we are the first government agency to have an electronic FOI portal on our website. Apart from having that on our website, we are encouraging all government agencies to have that on their websites. Furthermore, we have developed a program that is called Scorecard for Ranking of Government Websites. This is working in line with the Executive Order 001 and the OGP commitments that is directing government agencies to open up their services to provide information on everything around them on their website. That program started last year. We did the first scoring. We are currently scoring government agencies for 2019. And we're saying in that criteria, all government agencies must have electronic FOI portal. All government agencies must have a working email address that you can send text emails and somebody will respond to. All government agencies must have working telephone numbers that the citizens can engage, ask questions.
In terms of anti-corruption, we believe, of course, in Sweden we pay a lot of taxes. We have a system, a welfare system that is heavily depending on the ability to raise taxes. That's also a very important point made in the book. I mean, and that to be able to have a well-functioning society, a welfare state, you need taxes and you need the citizen to contribute to that welfare system. But in order for them to do so and to want to do so, obviously the taxpayers' money must be used in a good way, so that you know that when you pay taxes, it goes to services that will come back to you.
The federal government says it will not rescind its decision to regulate social media. The Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, said this on Thursday during a courtesy call on him by the Guild of Corporate Online Publishers in Abuja. Mohammed said the intense debate that has been generated by the announcement of the regulation is a welcome development. He allayed the fear of stifling free speech or muzzling the media. The minister clarified the concern has to do with the abuse of the social media by those who are bent on spreading fake news and hate speech and the dangers inherent in that for national peace and unity. He emphasized no responsible government will sit by and allow fake news and hate speech to dominate its media space because of the capacity of this menace to exploit national fault lines, set citizens against one another and trigger a national conflagration. Away from that, the House of Representatives has okayed compulsory genotype test for intending couples as part of measures to prevent sickle cell disease. The House charged government registries, churches and mosques to demand the test before joining persons as husband and wife. This is part of the resolutions passed by the lawmakers at plenary on Thursday when they unanimously adopted a motion moved by Umar Seki titled Call on the Federal Ministry of Health to develop an efficient system for management of sickle cell disease in Nigeria. Adopting the motion, the House called on the Federal Ministry of Health to introduce free and compulsory newborn screening program, which will include screening for sickle cell disease in all hospitals in Nigeria. The House also called on the ministry to provide free treatment and counseling service to patients with sickle cell disease, while asking it to sensitize religious institutions and the judiciary to include results of genotype test as one of the conditions for marriage. They also urged the Federal Ministry of Education to include sickle cell education in science subject in all primary and secondary schools, while mandating the House Committee on Healthcare Services, Information, National Orientation ethics and values, and basic education and services to ensure implementation of the resolutions. Moving the motion, Saki said archaeological and genetic findings have shown that sickle cell disease has been with Africans for the last 12,000 years, yet not much has been done in the continent to manage the scourge. Now, the Federal Capital Territory High Court sitting in Bwari has dismissed the suit filed by photographer Busola Dakolo against the senior pastor of the Commonwealth of Zion Assembly, Pastor Biodun Fatoyibo. The court also ordered her to pay 1 million naira for wasting its time. In a suit filed by Busola, wife of musician Timi Dakolo, in September, she had accused the pastor of rape, adding that the alleged action of the pastor, as well as his denial in a statement, adversely affected her marital sex life. She therefore demanded a personal letter of apology from the cleric to show honest remorse for his misdeeds. Fatoyibo's lawyer, Alex Izion, however, argued that a prayer could not be granted, describing it as a frivolous suit. In his ruling, Justice Uthman Musa held that the matter amounts to injustice and an abuse of judicial process, adding that the case is empty and purely sentimental. Justice Musa said that the case was aimed more at cruelty than obtaining justice. The court also awarded cost of 1 million naira against Busola Dakolo and held that a fine should have been 10 times more because the court's time was wasted. Now, Plus TV Africa spoke with convener of End SARS movement, Shegu Awosonya, via telephone on this issue.
This is not actually the substance of the case. This is just the outcome of the preliminary objection that was raised by the other team, by the Fatoyinbo team. But the only issue here, the only thing here that spells and shows and demonstrates foul play is the fact that this is a case that the files have been missing severally, as reported to us, and as evidenced by what has been posted out there already, on the matter. They've lost the file severally. And when they have to recall or call back for a photocopy of the whole thing, we don't even believe that the court actually looked at the substance of the case. Because the case, based on decided cases, you cannot tell us that something is status bad when the situation is unchanged. The law is there. This is not just something subject to whims and caprices or sentiments of any individual. You understand? It is something that has been established by law. That if the wrong continues the way it has been, no matter how long it has been, that the people who are bringing up the complaint, the issue has happened, you can always raise the complaint because the situation is unchanged and it's continuous. There are petitions out there that show that this guy has not stopped praying on the congregation. So you cannot say it's because something happened a few years ago. In fact, the interesting part of the case is the fact that they are not denying the fact that it happened. They are talking about the fact that it has happened too long ago before the report came. And that is what we're going to challenge. It is actually a learning process. We're engaging culture here and we're redefining something substantial. When we eventually get what we want, it will be an opportunity for a lot of people to come out of their shell and express the wrong that has been done to them. So we're not expecting things to be easy. We understand that the criminal justice system is corrupt. We understand that the criminal justice system is actually porous, but we will not relent regardless of what the outcome of anything is. We will continue to challenge and we will continue to persevere.
Still on this matter, we had in the studio a legal practitioner who also shed more light on it.
In this case, you have to have a pattern. If there's a pattern, if about 2 or 3 women come out and said, this is what happened to us, and they can put it down in an affidavit and video it and say this and stand by it, then you have a pattern. But now there's no corroboration for her. And I wonder how they think they can get the justice.
But there have been so many other women who've come out. Some even said they have tapes and audios, to back up their allegation. In the hit of when this story broke, we heard all kinds of things. So is that supposed to be what they need to build another case? I mean, if there be any other case to be built.
You see, when you're going up against such a man, you have to do your homework. It's not good enough for you to go on TV and start airing because you're releasing evidence. You have to sit down, calculate, and get a lawyer, itemize things, and build up a case. When you have an ironclad case, you go to the police. Don't sensationalize it on TV because you're losing evidence. And then from there, you take it.
So you're telling me that the first mistake that Busola made was go on TV to talk about this. But if there had been anything else to do other than TV, what could it have been to really prove that she was raped?
You see, I keep telling people, use a lawyer, use a lawyer. If she had consulted a lawyer before she had that interview, I know the lawyer would have restrained her from having that interview, because she's put herself out on the court of people's court, and that's not where she will get justice. Where she wants justice is the court and the police. So if she had articulated everything she had and handed it over to the police and followed it up with the necessary pressure and encouraged the police to investigate it, then you know it's the start. Maybe when she has submitted it and the police are refusing to do anything, that's when she would have gone for the interview. You see, we look at people as teen gods. There's nobody a good lawyer cannot get. The most is when the heat is on, they come and say, let us negotiate. Okay, we did this, we're sorry, what will it take? But people keep saying corruption, corruption. You haven't done your homework. Do your homework and then let the spinning go.
The news continues after the short break. Despite a raging maritime boundary disagreement, leaders of Kenya and Somalia on Thursday agreed to normalize relations at a meeting in Nairobi. Kenya's Uhuru Kenyatta and his Somali counterpart, Mohamed Abdullahi Farmajo, reaffirmed the invaluable relations between the two neighbors during a joint press conference after a closed-door meeting. The Somali leader was part of world leaders who were in Kenya for the just-ended International Conference on Population and Development. This year was the 25th edition. Kenya's Foreign Affairs Chief Monica Juma wrote on Twitter, the two principals agreed to bring normality to our bilateral relations and do everything to ensure peaceful relations between, including obtaining visas on arrival to encourage free movement of our people. The Somali leader also expressed gratitude to Kenya for its role in AMISOM, the African Union peacekeeping mission fighting insurgent group Al-Shabaab, and its role in sheltering Somali refugees fleeing conflict back home.
We have a lot of things in common, our people to people, government to government, business to business. Of course, we have a trade, okay, that's really mutually benefit for both countries. And people basically take it our differences rather than our common interest, And that's why I have to assure that the ICJ issue will not affect our bilateral relationship, and to make sure that we both benefit our government-to-government relationship.
Our brothers and sisters from Somalia were able to come to Kenya and get visas on arrival. But now, apparently, visas have now been referred back to the embassy in Mogadishu. So we have said that with immediate effect, we go back to normality, and our brothers and sisters from Somalia will be able to obtain their visas at the airport when they arrive. So no more referral visas. We go back and we want to encourage our people to do business. We want to encourage our people to come and visit their friends and family. That is what is important.
Up next is our foreign news. House of Representatives Speaker Nancy Pelosi said on Thursday, President Donald Trump already has admitted to bribery in the Ukraine scandal at the heart of a Democratic-led inquiry, accusing him of an impeachable offense under the U.S. Constitution. The bribe is to grant or withhold military assistance in return for a public statement of a fake investigation into the elections. That's bribery, Pelosi, the top Democrat in Congress, told a news conference the day after the first public hearing in the impeachment inquiry she announced in September. Democrats are looking into whether the Republican president abused his power by withholding $391 million in U.S. security aid to Ukraine as leverage to pressure Kyiv to conduct 2 investigations that would benefit him politically. The money, approved by Congress to help a U.S. ally combat Russia-backed separatists in the eastern part of the country, was later provided to Ukraine. True, the bribe is to grant or withhold military assistance in return for a public statement of a fake investigation into the elections. That's bribery, Pelosi, the top Democrat in Congress, told a news conference today after the first public hearing in the impeachment inquiry she announced in September. We'll take a short break, and when we come back, we'll bring you more news. Do stay with us.
First point of accountability is asking questions.
Hello and welcome to Plus Sports on Plus TV Africa. I am Udoka Njoko.
Hi everyone, welcome to Plus Training.
You cannot continue to recycle poverty while you're spending a lot of money on unproductive ventures.
The government has to feel the impact.
Honorable Commissioner, sir, welcome to the show.
And in business, the nation's import of petrol and diesel fell by about 11% and 15% respectively in September. This is according to the latest data released by the National Bureau of Statistics on Thursday. The decline in the imports of the petroleum products can be attributed to the complete closure of the nation's land borders with Benin and Niger in an attempt to check smuggling of contraband into the country. Subsequently, the volume of the petroleum premium motor spirit, also known as petrol, imported into the country dropped to 1.46 billion litres in September, which is down from the 1.64 billion litres in August and 1.99 billion litres in July. The NBS data show that petrol imported stood at 2.24 billion litres in January, 1.56 billion litres in February, 1.07 billion litres in March, 2.07 billion litres in April, 2.01 billion litres in May, and 1.53 billion litres in June. Moving on to the stock market, at the close of trade on Thursday, the stock market ended very progressive as the all-share index closed in the green. All-share index rose by 1.91% to close at 26,843.11. Total deals recorded was 6,426, with an equity capitalization of 13.067 trillion naira. On the list of top gainers was Guinness, which closed at a share price value of 26 naira per share, while Guarantee closed at a share price value of 29 naira 90 kobo per share. Leading the list of top decliners was MTN Nigeria, which dropped to a share price value of 121 naira 90 kobo per share, while Champion dropped to a share price value of 90 kobo per share. And on the list of top trades by value was Zenith Bank, with a volume of 167.922 million shares traded at a value of 3.186 billion naira. And on sectorial indices, NSE Insurance was up by 1.96%, NSE Oil and Gas was up by 0.92%, NSE Banking was up by 7.04%,
NSE Consumer Goods was up by 0.98% and NSE Industrial was up by 1.24%. And according to the Lagos parallel market, the Naira traded to $1 buying at 358 Naira to $1 and selling at 360 Naira to $1. The Naira bought at 458 Naira to a pound and traded at 464 Naira to a pound. The Naira also bought at 392 Naira to a euro and traded at 398 Naira. Still ahead on Plus TV Africa News is our roundup on entertainment and sports. We'll be back in a moment.
Eliza Seraphine, the alleged baby mama of rapper and record producer Future, claimed that the singer is trying to shut her up by using the legal system. Future tried to get a judge to impose a gag order on Eliza, claiming her constant interviews and social media outbursts make him worried that false and baseless allegations will be leaked to the media and the public. Eliza, however, filed court papers last week claiming Future is trying to impose a gag order on their child custody and support case and is only trying to rope her in and be in charge of information that flows out in the child paternity legal case she has against the rapper. The rapper has so far refused to acknowledge Eliza's daughter, Rain, as his own, but make it clear he only has 5 wives, including his ex-fiancée, Ciara, the mother of his 5-year-old son, Future. That's it on entertainment. Bring you sports news after this break.
Politics has helped shape the decision of the polity, from conspiracy theories to good old-fashioned comic politics.
These are the results of tomorrow's election. Okay, you have it already, have you?
I think we've done very well in the very difficult circumstances in which we took over governance.
Plus, politics will fill the pulse of the country. It's about putting you, the citizens, in the know.
And in sports, former France national striker has taken over as coach of Major League.
Dismay.
They suffer too much. They suffer too much.
Issues around the Nigerian police, we have to tackle it holistically.
I can't wait